Welcome back to Money Matters. I'm Strat Carter, and as I said, we're here with Zandre Bowen from the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited. And Zandre, for the benefit of myself and the viewers at home, can you tell us what investment options are available to the member or to anyone in general?
Well, there are a number of investment options available in Barbados. For example, there are mutual funds, right? There are equity, which is basically stocks in companies, right? And then there's also bonds, corporate bonds as well as government bonds. You would have remembered that most recently the government of Barbados would have issued a number of bonds to the public in efforts to raise funds, right? The thing is though, even people generally don't associate credit unions with investments. There are actually a number of investment products offered by credit unions. So for example, at Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited, we have term deposits, which is a good one. Your term deposit is nice, is flexible in terms of the tenor, so you can choose anywhere between a 1 year term deposit all the way up to 5 years. All right, and we have some very competitive interest rates where that is concerned. Then there's also our Premier Plan. I can boast and say that the Premier Plan is unlike any other plan on the market. It is one of the, if not the best plan on the market in terms of the return as well as flexibility. The Premier Plan in essence starts at $3,000. That's the minimum that you must have on the account. But it is flexible beyond that. So you can add or take off from that account as long as you keep the balance above $3,000.
Okay.
Right, but the good thing about the account is that the interest rate goes up every single year for 5 years. So it's actually a 5-year plan, and every single year the interest goes up. So you call it a step-up plan. All right, and from the time you open the account, you know that your interest rate is fixed for the 5-year period. So no matter what happens to interest rates in the market, when you have that account, you know your interest rate starts at, let's say, 2.5 and goes up to 4.5, you know for sure that even if interest rates move in the market, that in year 5 you will be getting 4.5%. It's a fantastic product, and as I said, it's fully flexible. So as long as the funds are beyond $3,000, you have full access to the funds. And of course, following on from the Premier Plan, now we appreciate, of course, every person doesn't have $3,000 set aside to start the account. Remember, the minimum balance is $3,000, right?
Right, yeah.
And as such, we make it easy for you to come up with that $3,000. We have a product called the Starter Premier Plan, and it has an extremely attractive rate, probably one of the highest interest rates on the market. All right, and the purpose of that plan is to get you up to that $3,000 level so that you can graduate then into the Premier Plan. Right. So you see, we're helping you along the way because, of course, our focus is members as a credit union. Okay, so we try to make it as easy as possible for you to access the products and services that we have.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
Now, outside of that, we also have our registered retirement savings plan. Right. Now, this plan actually combines the both concepts of saving and investing, because you're saving because you're accumulating funds towards retirement, but you're investing in terms of ensuring that the funds that you're saving actually working for you up until retirement. And once again, remember, we're trying to hedge against inflation there as well. Right? Because you need to make sure that you have that purchasing power when you actually retire some 20 or 25 years down the line.
Okay, an interesting question is, it has been said that Barbados has an aging population.
Right.
How would you go about trying to encourage young people to participate in maybe not necessarily the retirement savings plan, but in saving for retirement in general?
Well, here's the thing. Life is very uncertain, and you do not know what's going to happen some 20 or 25 years down the line, right? And you certainly don't want to only rely on national insurance, which of course is a scheme that is put in place to deal with pensions and so forth, right? Saving from early is very important, because then the amount that you need to set aside on a, let's say, monthly or weekly basis is a lot less if you start from early than if you start later on.
Yeah.
Good? And so you're not only saving, but you're also investing that money, because remember, once again, you're hedging against inflation.
Yeah.
All right? So you're making sure that you start from early to ensure that you can retire comfortably, right? It is generally said that you would need to have about 75% of, be able to cover at least 75% of the expenses that you currently have now. Because here's the thing, when you retire, you're likely to have already covered your mortgage and your kids are basically working for themselves and so forth. So you probably wouldn't need as much as you need now to cover your current expenses, but you would generally still about 75%. So you need to make sure that you have that nest egg aside to ensure that you can actually survive after you start working, stop getting that income from your employer.
So are any of these investment options similar to an insurance policy in that it would have a cash surrender value, which at some point you can use to secure, let's say, a loan?
Strat, here's the fantastic thing.
Right.
All of our savings products, as well as our investment products, with the exception of the UCALSA, which is Registered Retirement Savings Plan, and the Thrift Club accounts, can be used to secure loans.
So earlier we were talking about the Registered Retirement Savings Plan.
Yes.
So the question came to mind. Obviously, it is not always going to be the case that the person makes it all the way to retirement.
Right.
Invariably there will be instances where the person dies.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work then? The proceeds of their investment or savings, whatever you want to call it, are they able to assign a beneficiary so that the money will go on to that person? How does it work?
Well, obviously, we hope that all of our members live to retirement and live a prosperous life after that,
of course.
right? But of course, things happen, and we cater to that. So you can actually identify a beneficiary. When you come to open the UCALSA plan, you actually name a beneficiary there and then, and it's actually witnessed by two persons to ensure that it complies with the necessary legislation. And then when you die, then it makes it, not when you die, if you die, it makes it easier then for the funds to be transferred to who you want those funds to go to.
There was something that you mentioned earlier at the top of our discussion. Well, not that you mentioned, but that we were talking about the things that you are involved in. And one of them was technology. And you said you were responsible for ATMs and that kind of thing. Can you touch a little bit on what it is you actually do, what it is you actually have to deal with when it comes to technology and the credit union?
Well, gone are the days when we used to have, call it bank books and so forth.
Right.
You remember the bank book days, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then we would have moved, most financial institutions then moved to paper statements, where you get the statements probably quarterly or monthly, depending on the financial institution. Now, technology has taken access to your account even beyond that. And now there's such products as online banking and mobile banking and so forth. And that is equally the case at Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited, because we have free online banking, right? And you can easily, it's a very simple process. You can come in and probably in less than 5 minutes have your online banking set up,
right?
All right, there and then, and be able to view your accounts and do transfer across the records in your accounts and so forth. And I said it's absolutely free, huh? Right? No charge at all involved. Mobile banking, we have as well. We have one of the best mobile banking products on the market, if not the best. All right. The good thing about the mobile banking product is that it uses the same password as your online banking.
Nice.
All right. So you don't have to remember 2 passwords.
Okay.
And it gives the same flexibility as the online banking. You have the same ability to do all the things that you do on online banking, you can do via our mobile banking app. And that's actually an app that you can simply go and download and install it on your phone, and you instantly set up. So there isn't even a setup process for our mobile banking app, right? Just download it, use the same password from your online banking, and you're ready to go.
Okay.
People tend now to want to move away from the whole paper statements. You got a whole bunch of paper piling up at home, right? We provide a solution to that as well, because we have e-statements. So instead of getting your statement sent to you monthly and then have to look to file it and all that, you can simply sign up for our e-statements and have the e-statements basically sent to you on a monthly basis. And you actually get it more often too, because our paper statements go quarterly. But our electronic statements, those are sent out on a monthly basis. So you get a prompt via email that your statement is ready, and you just need to basically log in and your statement is there. And you can keep it all electronic and get away from the use of paper.
Okay. Well, folks, that has been Money Matters for another week. Thank you very much, Zandre. It's been a pleasure, and it's been informative. I hope it's been informative for all of you. And I'm sure you'll be back with us same time next week, same place.